Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at and turn it back around. Can't stop me.
Well, good afternoon, good evening. Sorry, we know we're a little late. We were busy finishing a project. We now have propane heat.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon.
Yeah. It was interesting to say the least. And it normally takes both of us to do it because my brain is technically like A plus B, use hammer, smash. Joe's the techie one that says, no, we have to connect line A to line B and divide by C. And let's check these directions 3 times. So it took us a little bit longer than I expected.
Oh, well, we got there.
And
it's warmer.
Yes.
Well, it will be. But
yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because you all know we are bracing for the winter.
We are.
But there's some other news in the air, so I figured we'd take on some interesting things. Tonight, we're going to be discussing some health stuff. NASA's reenacting 1967. January 6th is breaking for stuff. And then we've got some meta threats. So what would you like to tell, dear?
Oh, let's go for diabetes.
All right.
So yeah, so diabetes care gets a major update, more aggressive approach to weight loss, cholesterol disparities recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Oh yeah. So the American Diabetes Association on Monday released new standards of care to reflect changes in technology, improved medications, and a deeper understanding of the social factors that contribute to disease and diabetes control. The standards are updated annually, but this year includes almost 100 new or revised recommendations affecting all types of diabetes. The guidelines are available to doctors via an app as well as online. Last year, they were accessed more than 4 million times across the globe. That seems a little low.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a lot of doctors that are still, and this is why I like our doctor. He's so young. A lot of doctors that are still working off their 1970s, 1960s information.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so accessed 4 million times, 206 million adults living with diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 in 2 adults with diabetes are undiagnosed. 2.3 million deaths caused by diabetes in 2021.
Right.
That's just...
right.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering how, comparatively to the population, how often was it accessed? So
sounds like twice per patient.
No.
Not even that, right?
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. 206 million people with diabetes in the world, and it's only been accessed 4 million times globally.
So, yeah, not even close at all.
No. That's at best, at least doctors have hit it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just wondering comparatively.
Right.
Now, granted, this will be a messed up number, so live with me on that one. Just curious. There are 9.2 million doctors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There are 18.1 million nurses worldwide. Yeah. The United States, with 4% of the world's population, has 8% of the doctors and 17% of the nurses.
Right.
All right. So, I was just trying to figure out. So, of course, of those doctors, most of them are not going to be, generally speaking, impacted by diabetes care exactly.
Mm-hmm.
As in, they're not going to be your primary provider for care for diabetes. Now, obviously, there are some services like podiatry um, that are going to be more heavily reliant on information about new diabetes care standards
Right.
than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, taking that into account. I mean, granted, there's a lot of associated issues that stem from diabetes or that, are harder to treat because of diabetes.
Right. And, managing your health is highly important, whether you're diabetic or not. Diabetic of all types are affected by these new guidelines because this is now what the insurance companies are going to bite on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see what new hell that Big Pharma has created, shall we?
Well, yeah. So, in addition to changes in standards for weight control, blood pressure, and cholesterol management, the revisions are also intended to address racial disparities in care. Let's see. So, weight management, new tools, particularly more effective weight loss medications coming to market, should allow diabetes patients more control over their weight, Gabay said. Losing 15% of body weight as opposed to the previously recommended 5% should yield more health benefits. We now have better tools to achieve those goals, making them realistic. Guidelines remain the same around diet and exercise, including eating a well balanced diet and reducing processed foods and added sugar. Recommendations around lifestyle haven't changed, and they're still very important. So diabetes is the leading cause of heart disease, and heart disease is the leading cause of death for people with diabetes. The new guidelines include a lower target for blood pressure of less than 130/80. For LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, the new guideline calls for a measurement of 70 for people without heart disease, down from 100, and 55 instead of 70 for those with established heart disease. Let's see. More aggressive treatment to prevent the progression of chronic kidney disease. Because diabetes continues to be the leading cause of end-stage renal disease.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Americans with diabetes are 3 to 4 times more likely to have a limb amputated than a white person with the same condition. And the rate of amputations is getting worse, not better. The new guidelines call for more careful screening for foot ulcers and peripheral artery disease, both of which can lead to amputations. Sleep is crucial. Both quality and timing of sleep matters, Gabay said. Not too much and not too little, he said. Both are associated with poorer outcomes when it comes to diabetes. Doctors should be consulting their patients with diabetes about proper sleep habits and identifying people who have sleep issues. Many people with diabetes are prone to sleep apnea, a potentially dangerous condition which someone stops breathing briefly during sleep. The treatment of diabetes, particularly with weight loss, can improve sleep apnea, and improving sleep apnea can help control diabetes. And everyone with diabetes should be screened for problems that are likely to get in the way of good diabetes management, such as food insecurity, living in a food desert with few options, or a food swamp where only processed foods are readily available.
Yeah. Educating people on food healthily when they cannot access healthy food is the only way, which will only lead to frustration. We want to enter diabetes healthcare team as a participant, asking people about food. But other than that, did they lose their job? Do they have a safe neighborhood before telling them to exercise? Now that'll be interesting. Studies have determined the value of community healthcare workers, particularly for those understanding and disadvantaged populations, to help them stick to medication and lifestyle changes. Improve access to technology. Doctors have associated the older Americans aren't comfortable with technology, so they fail to recommend high-tech treatments such as automated insulin delivery devices, glucose pumps. The new guidelines insist recommending that everyone is offered the latest technology, including older patients. Black Americans and other people of color are often given less access to advanced technology than their white counterparts, he said. And some diabetes associations have created a technical access program to boost racial inequality. Everyone should gain access to the technology to help them thrive with their diabetes. I don't know. Why don't we help the insurance companies understand the equipment needed, shall we? And I'm sorry, we deal with this. We battle with this.
Well, and
Brenda,
and it's not just the technology. Sometimes it's just the basics.
Yeah.
The basics of diabetic care are out of grasp for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like glucose test strips. Like that's the one that always kills me. You can create and sell the machine for like $20 is what we're down to.
No, I paid
I believe.
$9.
I mean, $9.
$9. For
Yeah.
the machine I use, I paid $9 for.
Yeah, we're down to $9 now for a machine.
Mm-hmm.
The strips
Mm-hmm.
are still what, 20 for 25?
No, it's 35 for 20.
35 for 20.
Yeah.
So, like, struggle bust that with me for a moment. You can buy the machine, which usually comes with what, 5-10 strips?
No.
No.
No strips.
Oh, it's not even anymore.
Yeah, there's no strips.
Stop that. Oh,
there's no Lancets.
Well, yeah. But if you've got to do diabetic testing, and you're going to be doing, like, generally speaking, you want to do this more often through the day. Like, can we talk about the ridiculousness of this? Is that, like, let's just say you're going to test 3 times a day. I figure this is a good time to bring up the calculator. So, all right, we already know that, let's see, 35 for 20 strips. Is that what we... Okay. So we're going to 35 divided by 20. Oh, it helps if I hit the right key somewhere on my keyboard. There we go. Fine. 35 divided by 20. That means the strips are $1.75 a piece. You're going to do that 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's $5.25 a day. That is a trip to Starbucks. You know, that thing they keep telling us we're not supposed to do because it's a waste of money. So you do that for a 30-day month. That's $157.50 a month. You multiply that by 12 months. You're easily looking at over $1,890 if you're out of pocket paying for your diabetic testing strips. You can buy the machine for $9. The strips for that machine will cost you $1,890 a year. Does anyone wonder if this is why Apple didn't release a continuous glucose monitoring watch?
Right.
Does anyone think maybe there is a market there that just doesn't want that technology?
Right. And that is manual testing, which will just give you the look at it that moment.
Yep.
That does not
tell you how it's trending.
Right.
Are you like you're at 150? Is it trending up or trending down? Like, where are you at with that?
Well, not only that, but what, where are you at in your day? What are,
Oh, yeah. And Brenda, I totally get that. Some, like, it depends upon the machine. Some strips are even more expensive. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. And this is just the strips. This is just the strips. Like, fuck the Lancets. Like, all y'all out there reusing the fuck out of those. I know it. I've seen every fucking diabetic do it. Like, don't even talk to me about the Lancets. Like, none of y'all are using those single use.
Right.
Because, please. Because, that gets ridiculous. Mostly because, like, can we just talk about real quick the fact that whole Lancet thing, like, no one's been smart enough to come up in this many years of diabetic testing with, like, either A, a really good cap that goes back over that needle,
There isn't one.
or B, a really tiny shards container
Right.
that you could reasonably carry with you. Not the big giant, like, hi, I work at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one. I'm just talking, like, can we get something to sign? And I know a fair number of diabetics who use the pill bottle if they are rich. And let's call it out for what it is. It's a wealth problem.
Right.
Or the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are wealthy enough to afford it, to use their supplies the way they're supposed to be used,
Mm-hmm.
they end up using a pill bottle and relying on that to be their walking shards container.
Right.
So, yeah, again, seen that, not often, because not, like, I swear to God, every diabetic uses the fuck out of those Lancets till, like,
right.
you pray
And then
for
you
paper
have
cuts.
the one. Now this is the one I want, not the technical one I want, but the one that a lot of my close friends have, and I'm very much interested in, which is the scanner.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The little bit of Borg equipment.
Yeah, a little bit of Borg equipment goes in, lasts for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Is around $124.84.
Mm-hmm.
And to $151.45 for 2.
Okay, so how much for? Okay, let's figure that out. 2 in a month. So what's the cost on that? You said that was one.
The total price for the whole system, because you also have to pay for the app, because heaven forbid you have a free app, is $198.55
a month.
No, for one, and it takes 2 a month.
Okay,
if they stay.
Two of those.
Yeah.
All right. So $397 a month times 12.
Mm-hmm.
$4,764.
Right.
That's the cost they're talking about trying to. Well, and because let's be real about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are great guidelines, but this is the problem. $4,764.
Mm-hmm.
On top of, what did we just say for the strips?
No strips.
Oh, no, because that'll kill your strips. Never mind.
This is the scanner one.
Right. But insurance has to pay for that, and they deny it constantly.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you are considered in horrible diabetes shape. As in, you're long-term diabetic, you're years down the road of this.
Right.
And you've started to hit that point where you're starting to tick off boxes.
Right.
Where, you're because again,
mm-hmm.
Like,
now we're giving you U.S. costs this, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure around the world it's like $20 for this shit.
Well, if we are in Canada, and a lot of diabetics have to go to Canada to get medicine, because we've not even moved on to the medicational side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In Canada, it costs them $50 for a month for 2 sensors.
Mm-hmm. $50.
All diabetic supplies in Canada are free on the standard testing system.
Yeah, that's $50. 1/8 the cost of what it is in the U.S.
Right.
So yeah, Brenda says best friend's doctor would like her on the pump because hers jumps so much, but her medical card says it's not necessary and refused.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here's the reality. This is why I do like updates to guidelines, is that it can help to push that needle. And I mean that more metaphorically than literal, but still, can help to push that needle for insurance coverage.
Mm-hmm.
that, when we revise guidelines, it is a slow process that moves us towards this is inferior care. You don't do this.
Right.
And it takes forever.
Yeah.
Mostly because insurance companies are sitting there going, yeah, it's $397 a month. You pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to pay for it.
Right.
Like, because, I mean, let's get real. People paying for insurance direct out of pocket, aren't most of them capped around $400 a month?
If that.
If that.
Right. Brenda, I'm sending you a link. After I remember how to log into where we talk.
And let me guess, that link is to apply to the program directly so that they can do charity care.
No, there's actually a plan.
Oh.
I don't know if our friend will qualify for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's $49 a month.
Okay, and covers the dieback testing supplies? Or the
covers the pump.
Covers the pump, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and that's not even getting into the pumps.
Yeah, because the pumps are $6,000 per month.
Yeah. Do I know?
$6,000 per month.
Oh, good God.
Yep. So there's that. I've not researched it. I just seen it in the research for this segment. But no. So we're running about in real life, comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I'm diabetic. We know this. Hello, RA. Yep, you hit the pancreas. Good deal. So we're working on get out of that because I don't want to get stuck over there. So we're dealing and working with that, and I think that we spend, counting the gym membership, on average about $350 a month just managing the diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
With supplies and co-pays and gym membership, and that's not even counting food.
Let me see if I can do this without breaking my computer.
Okay.
206 million people living with diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
If, because we'll be real conservative here, if they test twice a day, and we multiply that by $1.75 a strip, okay, and we multiply that by 30, and we multiply that by 12 months. That's $259 billion a year out of 206 from 206 million people. That is a $259 billion industry.
Right.
On stupid diabetic testing strips. I'm sorry, honey. Can you hold one of those up? Like
I can't.
Okay.
Because I keep my machine by my station.
Okay. I figured you probably had one on your desk from where you tested earlier. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty.
No, honey. I've moved everything in there so that I could.
Oh.
Yeah, and tell the assistant to go grab my black bag on my stand.
Oh, okay, just 1 second.
So, in 1965 is when the monitors first became on the market. 1965. They've really not changed the system since 1965.
Not well. I mean, it's gotten smaller.
It's gotten smaller. It's gotten cuter. I think mine has Bluetooth to connect into the thing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
But
overall,
like here's where I keep glitching out at is
mm-hmm,
$1.75
mm-hmm. And
for
I
any
run
of the
one, and we run one of the cheapest machines on the
yeah.
market.
Yeah. But $1.75 a strip. Like
Yeah,
hold it up to the camera, no one can see that. Like that's it. That's the whole thing. That's $1.75 piece of medical equipment.
yep.
How the fuck is that $1.75? There is no way in hell you're going to ever convince me
Mm-hmm.
that the manufacturing cost is any more than like 5 cents a unit. Like, there's no way in hell you're going to convince me that costs more than 5 cents to make. Now,
Right.
I think 5 cents is a little high
Mm-hmm.
in an estimate of manufacturing costs. And I
Right.
understand you're a company, you're in business, you have employees, you need to make some money.
Right.
But 5 cents to, like, if I'm right, 5 cents to make,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to sell them for $1.75 a pop.
Right. Well, it's like the little Lancettes. These
Oh, yeah.
lovely things.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I
Box of
call them,
100.
the morning wake-up calls.
Oh, yeah. They still a box of
Um,
100.
no, they sell them in they sell them in they're $12.99. They are 6.5 cents each. And that's
6
the cheap
point.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about the nice softy ones. We're talking about the cheap ones here.
Oh my goodness. Shannon says my mother-in-law is in Mexico. She only had to pay for some of her insulin. $60 would pay for close to 6 months of her insulin. Until we found out she had insulin resistance. But she gets that paid for because what she uses is experimental. The government medical plan pays for hers because she'd die without it.
Yeah, this is in Mexico.
Oh, yeah. And Shannon also points out that a lot of health companies are trying to get out of paying for diabetes, chronic issues, and cancer treatments now. So pay close attention when you sign up.
Right.
What are you actually signing up for? Yes.
And insulin currently,
Mm-hmm.
if we're looking there, the hemoglobin in, hemoglobin RN
Mm-hmm.
in the United States is costing upwards, and it's going up more and more. And it's not covered by Medicare. Plans cannot cost you more than $35 a month for January 1 of 2023, but it can be up to $600. This is the point. This is what happened here in West Virginia. They about once every 6 months run what they call a rush for the border. This is where a group of diabetics get on a coach bus, ride to Canada. They all chip in, and they get 6 months supply of insulin. 6 months supply of insulin. It's around anywhere from $300 to $600, depending on which insulin they buy, fast acting, slow acting, whatever, and come back. And they said it saves them more than 100%.
I'm sorry, how does it save them more than 100%?
Meaning that when they get done doing that, they have paid for a ticket on this bus where everyone splits the cost of the driver and the coach and all that. They've crossed the border and they're able to buy insulin and come back. They are still saving almost what they spend on that one trip every 6 months. Basically pays for is what they would pay for 2 months of insulin in the United States.
So buy 2 months, get 4 months free. So if you're looking for,
buy 2 months, get 10 months free.
Okay.
What they pay for 2 months of insulin in the state of West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
they could rent a bus, they drive to Canada, they get a year's worth of insulin,
Mm-hmm.
and come back.
Okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought the way you were saying it, they were getting 6 months supply. So I'm like, that's 2 trips.
Right. They still
They
do
would have
2
to-
trips.
Okay, so the 2 trips, it costs, so it's a 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Pay for 1 month pay for the trip. It's the equivalent of 1 month in the U.S. Cost for your insulin and supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Go across the border, get 5 months free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So pay for 2 months, 2 trips. You
Mm-hmm.
get your worth of insulin and supplies.
Yeah.
Out of the 2 trips. Yeah, medical tourism, which, I mean, frankly, I think we almost have to talk about it in terms of the U.S. and the medical terrorism,
Mm-hmm.
because call it something else.
Right.
Call it something else. Help me call it something else, because I don't know what else to call it at this point but medical terrorism.
Right.
Because it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, seriously, if you know, you're basically pointing a gun at someone's head
Mm-hmm.
and saying, if you don't buy this, you will die.
Right. Now, per vial of insulin, this is the price comparisons. Per vial is $98.70 in the US. Japan, it's $14.40. Canada, it's $12. Germany, it's $11. France, it's $9.08. UK, it's $7.52. And Australia, it's $6.94.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is, I mean, it's kind of funny because Shannon just said the thing. They're trying to make that illegal now, too. Here's the funny part. See, companies took advantage of economies in other countries
Mm-hmm.
to globalize, make everything cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But then they want to turn around after they make the big, massive profits off of selling it in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And then make it illegal for you as a consumer to do what the company did in the first place to reduce their cost of bringing a product to as well as, you know, like decreasing American employment and all the other problems with that. But then they're lobbying to make it illegal to go across the border or to leave the country and come back with your supplies bought on a less expensive market.
Right.
Like, make it make sense.
Right.
Like, why? Like, I mean, like, or more importantly, like, can we just talk about like American company hypocrisy there?
Right.
Like, you totally exploit the rest of the world.
Right.
Have no qualms with it, Walmart. You have no qualms with.
Right.
Except for, you know, when you show up on Dateline or, you know, 60 Minutes or whatever, for exploiting the rest of the world. You have no problem making your profits off of it, but God forbid your consumers.
Right.
Fly across, take a nice trip.
Take
a nice trip, go on vacation.
Right.
Like, seriously, you might as well. Take a nice trip, see another country, and come back with, you know, like having effectively paid for the trip and then some. You know, and actually gotten a savings, and have all your medications.
Right.
Like, what?
Well, we know that we're on that I'm on Trulicity. So,
I mean, yay, insurance
yay.
covered.
Insurance covered. If not, Elon and Lily was ready to put me on their program, and it's like $35.
Oh,
However,
Lily, but still.
yeah. However, the monthly list price is $886.56, or $10,638.72 per year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And this is after we went through a bickering fight.
Yeah. Well, and this is the reality. Like, is it sad? I'm starting to see like a future trend
Mm-hmm.
that honestly, and it's going to be rife with so many issues, but I really expect people to start moving towards border areas.
Right.
Not necessarily the town just over the border.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, you're in the US, but you're right there. I'm just talking about within a reasonable couple of hours drive.
Right.
You can cross the border, like go to Tijuana,
Well,
go to Montreal or Quebec.
okay.
Or
Honey, grab your calculator.
oh, Lord. What are we calculating now? Oh,
We are calculating something.
I missed. All right. What we got?
All right. $886.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Minus $17.65.
Okay.
Times that by 6.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else I'm doing with it?
Yes, you are.
Okay, what?
Well, I've got to get Delta up, okay?
Okay. Because right now we're at $5,210.10.
Times $500. I mean, minus $500.
Minus 500. Okay.
Minus another 500.
So hotel stay, meals, and incidentals.
Yes.
Okay.
Equals
$4,210.10.
That's how much we would save if we have to pay out of pocket for my Curiosity. If I fly down and have dinner, me and you both fly to Mexico, stay a night in Mexico, go to the pharmacy, pick up the medication, go have dinner with Shannon and Shannon's husband and mother-in-law and all that, and fly back the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. We ain't spending one damn night. What? I'm just saying, I know. I can eat cheap in Tijuana. I can tell you where to go.
I understand that. But I'm just saying.
Street tacos. Don't even start me. Like, I miss those.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying, is we would still save, how much? Almost $4,000?
Yeah, $4,200.
$4,200.
I don't even think your airfare is right. Because, let's see. So I'm sitting here going, let me do this Travelocity, like, give me 3 months. Like, we ain't doing this tomorrow. That's some shitty airfare. Who the fuck are you talking about, too? Like, no, we're doing this in March. So let's call it, we'll fly out on, okay, we'll even go for the decent 3-day weekend. So March 10th at this point. Check in, check out. Oh, no, flights. That's what I need. So March 10th, returning March 11th. Let's see. CRW. Why can I never remember that? Come on, there's got to be better airfare than 500. Granted, multiplied by 2, that's still 250. But I'm like, damn. No. Apparently, March is a horrible time to go.
No, again, I was looking at average cost of ticket.
Okay.
But again, and that's if we don't get the Winnebago and just drop down there.
Well, true. At that point, it starts to justify it really quick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, one trip is $42.10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to have to do a second trip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's going to be $8,420.20 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, yeah. Then you're going to turn around. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Then you're going to turn around and do that in what? Like 10 years, you can buy an RV.
Yeah.
And well pay for it. 84,000?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to want preferred seating because those planes are tight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, though, I gotta say, like, I don't think I've ever had the luxury of preferred seating.
Right. And that's if we do not find a pharmacist like that, will just ship it to me.
Oh, but then you have to deal with the fact that you're sending money out of the country.
I'll use my E-Trade account.
Oh, fair.
It doesn't care where I ship out of. But no, these are the costs, and now the updated things sound like they're even going to cost us more.
Argumentatively, I think it's going to be more so you're going to start seeing your healthcare providers start pushing, like the guidelines on the patients. Not that the guidelines are wrong, not that your medical provider is wrong, but then we start getting into the problem of poverty care. Because it's not really health care, it's poverty care.
Right.
In which your doctor says stupid white people shit for 100, Alex. And you hear, okay, so which of my utilities would you like me to not pay?
Right.
Okay, well, I'm sure that my diabetes will definitely get under control if I don't have a food budget. And, this is all going to get interesting living in my car.
Right.
Because the numbers you're throwing at me, the numbers that the patient's going to hear, because the doctor's not really going to hear them, they're not going to research them. Most physicians have no idea about the actual cost of care.
Right.
Like, they don't know the bill that their patient's about to get. They don't know what their patient's going to hear at the pharmacy. It's very few doctors that actually process that. Rural medicine tends to think in those terms. You occasionally get it in, underprivileged areas.
Right.
But most of the rest of the time, and then some random doctors that actually get it.
Right.
This isn't all, easy.
Right. Now, and I've thought about doing a series, and I may do it as a video. Showing people how, because we get told all the time, oh, you eat so elegantly, oh, you eat so this, no, we don't. On average, I'll be honest, our food budget is about $100 a week. Out of that, about 28 of it goes for specialty food for me. Because you don't eat salads. You tell me they're too healthy.
No, I enjoy salads without you. I'm still afraid to eat salads around you.
Right.
Unless they come in from somewhere else.
Well, again, you don't, dive into, you don't touch the shakes.
No, I can't.
Because they'll murder you. And just different things that we do differently. I've thought about, filming that. Like, we have a delicious salmon meal that's $7.
Yeah. Well, but on the flip side, I have some specialty foods too, because I can't stand peanut butter, but I like my different nut and seed butters.
Right.
It's this weird thing. I grew up not really liking peanut butter, and it's a whole weird thing. Oh my God.
Right. We need a break, and then we'll come back.
All right.
Hi. I'm Dottie the Psychic, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, one reason is to irritate my social media manager, Aeson Knight. Hi, Aeson. The other reason is because I like to get to the naked truth about what it means to be a neurodivergent LGBT person with psychic abilities. I've got vlogs, blogs, and podcasts and videos all related to trying to live my best life and helping witches and bitches do the same thing. So, you can check all that out and get a reading from Dottie the Psychic at DOTTIEthepsychic.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.
Do you have a cute pet? We know you do. Each week, Tracy Van chooses from submitted photos a featured reader for her Facebook page and provides a tarot reading. Your adorable pet cat, dog, rabbit, goat, chicken, snake, or more could be her next featured reader. Visit TracyVan.com, TracyVann.com, and click Featured Reader to submit. We look forward to seeing your pet next.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and I am here to tell you how to get in contact with me and a little bit about what I do. I am the High Priestess that works with shadow work to help you grow and heal. And I work with access bars, Reiki, I do power forms. I'm recently getting into crystal healing, sound therapy as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, that is LadyGwendolynHealing.com. Book your appointment with me. I do in person, I do over the phone, I do over Zoom. We can do that as well. My main goal is to help you grow and heal, because I've been there, I'm still going through it, and I let my strength help guide you. See you soon.
Hey everybody, Natalie here from The Pendulum's Path. If you are in need of guidance, direction, spiritual connection, healing, or more, you have come to the right place. I have worked as a psychic and a medium for over 3 years, connecting people from all over the world with their loved ones, giving them insight and guidance into their current situations, their past healings, their blockages, and what they need to know in order for them to have a better future. It would be my absolute honor if you would come to my website at www.thependulumspath.com. Visit my shop. I have a whole bunch of crystals, oils, balms, mystery boxes, and more. And visit my services. I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute sessions. I also have email readings available if you're not comfortable with the one-on-one session with me, or if you just want to try me out. I encourage you to come visit me at the Pendulum's Path, and let's get you back on the right track today.
All right, welcome back.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we were talking, food, and, one of the big guidelines is, paying attention to the food and all that. Well, when you have a government that expects you to live on $6.87 a day.
Mm-hmm. Or less.
Or less. No, that's what they give you. If you are on minimum benefits from staff, it's starting in 2023, it's $6.87 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So 687 times 30, roughly $206. See,
Yeah.
here's the problem though, is and why I say or less is because that immediately hit me, and I was like, or less. Because I know a fair number, or I have known a fair number of people that got way less than that.
Right.
Like,
yeah. When your benefits get updated, we have Democrats in office. They've raised it up to $6.87. Yeah. No, it doesn't technically buy a pack of chicken. It does buy 1, 2, 3 things of almond milk. You can get a salad kit if you want to eat on a salad kit all day for about that price.
yeah, but that's not even reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the sad reality is not even reasonable.
That's not even reasonable. Now you can feed somebody for $6.87 in a day with a lot of processed foods and a lot of crap, and I call it crap easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at best, I mean, I don't know. I have tried because that was actually one of the budgeting tips my sister walked me through back in the day. And I actually did, though mine was much higher. I was far more affluent. At $10 a day. First thing that's gone is eating out because you can't unless you spend all of your money on fast food for one meal, and even then, it's kind of a crap meal.
Right.
Like you can't do a whole lot with $10.
Exactly.
And that was several years ago.
Right.
Oh yeah, lots of carbs, pastas, homemade. That's and it's a lot of carbs, and it's going to go wonky with the blood sugar. So now you need more medication to take care of your blood. And
you've got to test more often. You know, if I'm being bad, I have to test more often because I have to know where that badness is at and just how bad I'm going.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not bad all the time, and honestly,
I'm actually normally fairly good.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were saying you were bad.
No, I'm saying if I'm being bad, I have to test.
Which, I mean, kind of like, and that's kind of the accounting problem in this.
Right.
Is like, you're gonna, unless you very blandly stabilize all of your behaviors, which is next to impossible to ask anyone to do.
Right.
Which I think, unfortunately, is sometimes where the guidelines kind of end up. And it's why people are like, you know, I can either live off a boiled chicken for the rest of my life or I can die happy. Like, and I don't know how many damn diabetics I've heard say that. I can either live off a boiled chicken for the rest of my life or I can die happy.
Right.
Because sometimes that's where the guidelines go. And I know that there are physicians that, like, it took them a long time. I will say the A1C is probably the best test ever invented for removing. Some doctors said what from diabetic care.
Right.
Because a lot of doctors would overreact to, like, you know, one-offs.
Right.
And would not, because this is back in the old days when you had to take your log in there, they would flip through it and find the one-off. They always found the one-off. You could have perfect control, you know, for 89 out of 90 days. They're going to find that 300 in there. And it ends up being very discouraging. Well, like, I was bad one day, man. Like, I effed up one day. Like, it was my birthday, it was Christmas, like, and I wasn't even that bad. You know, like, cut me some slack, man.
Right. And by the way, I'm fucking up with Kroger's, so you may get a text about me being mean over there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Shannon's having to put my eldest monster on a gluten-free diet right now, and finding stuff she'll eat is hard. If someone is diabetic and having to avoid gluten, anything is going to cost way more too. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Let me make sure they still have them, Shannon, because I'll talk about some tricks I've been doing here lately.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I know this is going to be a short-term trick if I'm right, but just as a side note, I think the wonton wrappers are technically gluten-free,
Mm-hmm.
and it can make making food a little more fun.
Right.
And they air fry
Mason
nice.
does have gluten-free soft tacos. We use those in place of bread all the time. I've actually began using them in place of noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I just added those to my cart.
Yeah. Although I will say on the wontons, if you air fry those, be prepared. The texture is really different.
Deep fry them. Just deep fry them.
Well, yeah. But that's sometimes part of the problem as well, though, are the number of people who have comorbidities, or what I would like to call them as conflicting problems.
Mm-hmm.
My dad hit that point where, he's diabetic, hypertensive, and it's like you start taking the two take the intersection of preferred foods. There's not much, and that's just off of two very common ones. Factor in high cholesterol, you just shorten that list. Like, you can almost have Tic Tacs.
Right. Well, that'll run your sugar up.
No, it's sorbitol it will.
Yep.
It'll F with the
And that's the other thing, is the crap they say is sugar-free, and it isn't sugar-free. I hate to inform you, a lot of the stuff that is, sugar-free candy sounds amazing for diabetics. It isn't.
No, because most of your sugar is replaced with sugar alcohols, aka sorbitol. So then you run into the problem that you can, most humans can only handle so much sorbitol before one, the most annoying side effect kicks in, and that it was a baby laxative, and you take anything in enough quantity, it's an adult laxative too. Hate to tell you, your baby laxative can be used in adults. You just have to use more of it. But there's also been a number of studies about the effect of artificial sugars on insulin resistance and your body's inability to self-regulate. Because ultimately, not only is it tricking your taste buds, not that it does that very well, but it's also starting to screw with your body. It's a chemical it doesn't quite know how to process.
So
it's
doesn't.
not. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't. That's why there are a number of people that have been, diet everything for years. Diet sodas, diet whatever, that end up with weight gain. Not supposed to happen. Or you wouldn't have expected it. But also with more complicated problems with weight management, weight loss, and with glucose management. It's a little nuts to sit there, and it's like the worst thing that your doctor can tell you if you're diabetic. And I'm all for listening to your doctor. Please consult a medical professional. But in this instance, consult a nutritionist, not a doctor, because the number of doctors who are fat phobic and will tell you to just eat less and substitute this for that What they sometimes miss is what they're actually doing is throwing your body into starvation mode
Mm-hmm.
and then filling it up with chemicals
Right.
that your body can't process.
Right.
Like if you're already diabetic and then you're throwing in all of these artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners, you start running into problems there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I think for a large number of patients, it can become an issue.
Well, it not only becomes an issue, it becomes a freaking aggravational problem because you
Yeah.
think you're doing everything.
Yeah, you're doing everything you can to try to lose weight. You're either maintaining or gaining.
Right.
You go to every single doctor's appointment and they treat you like you're stupid.
Right.
And you didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just want to die. So you get browbeat every appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it's you're in a losing spiral.
Right.
In which you're getting, told you're stupid and worthless and incompetent, while at the same time you literally have tried.
Right.
You are doing the things that you've been told to do, and you're doing them the way you're supposed to do them, as told to you.
Right.
And everything keeps getting worse. And it's like,
well,
yeah.
Yeah. And then you stop for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I just went through our Kroger's database.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. And literally just what we buy to manage me is $211 on average per month.
Yeah, that's about right. That's actually, it's a little higher than your estimate. So it's about $50 a month, $50 a week.
Yeah. If we do not do the savings things I do.
Well, yeah, but if you direct buy them.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I mean, and again, I'm not mad about that. I don't have a problem with that. Like, that is a thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that's not counts the gym membership, which, I'm really liking Anytime Fitness right now. There is Planet Fitness, but their equipment is off. And something that pissed me off last week, and then we're going to move on to the other stuff, but something pissed me off last week is, for at least 6 years now, I've used MyFitnessPal. It manages my diet.
Hey, Kalika.
Hey, Kalika. Shannon, catch up with me later this week, and we'll have a conversation with some thoughts and ideas. Because I've done low carb, no carb for 2 decades now. And gluten free. So there's some tricks there.
We need to have a conversation because I'm also seeing Shannon's comment about she can't have fried food, no gallbladder.
Right.
There's caveats there.
Right.
Unless that really is, never mind. I got the rest of your comment now. Never mind. Right. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm talking about is conflicting health issues. Is that if you overlay the dietary restrictions,
yeah,
like that's a short list.
It's a very short list. But things that we do is we buy vegetables that are in season. We buy sometimes canned versus fresh. We buy clearance items. We shop sales. We multi-buy. And then portion control is a big part of diabetes management. Very big part of diabetes management. But anyway, MyFitnessPal. Used it for years. Have been using it. It has been like the app that goes on every phone. I opened it the other day to record my new protein shake because I got tired of hand entering it. They want $20 to use the damn app. at all.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
I will go back to paper and pen.
Basically, which is frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not even a reasonable charge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it were $2.99 a month, it'd be like, go charge it. I don't care.
Yeah.
$20 some dollars a year, like, fuck it,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it. $30 a year,
Right.
whatever, it's worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then
Right.
there comes a point in that, like, there's a limit, and there's
Yeah.
a limit for all of us on like the number of apps we can afford to pay for.
Right.
Meanwhile, like, and here's my tech thing though.
Right.
It's a two-parter. On the thing we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm wondering at what point insurance companies start paying for apps.
Right.
Like, how wild will that be?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing I was saying before we went to break is I do foresee at some future point we're going to start seeing a 2-hour or less to the border migration,
Mm-hmm.
in which it literally, like, we start seeing this overloading of population
Mm-hmm.
along those border lines.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to literally start seeing people go to jail for smuggling, like,
Mm-hmm.
if laws are passed to prevent it. But you're still going to end up seeing mostly poor people going to jail for smuggling their drugs or trying to do a immigration request based on the fact I will die in my home country.
Right.
Because I can't afford to live.
Right. Right.
That's a hell of a thing.
Right.
But yeah. I also think it might be interesting to see if at some future point, when the Apple smartwatch finally makes it to market with the continuous glucose monitor, if we start seeing insurance companies foot the bill for it.
Right.
Because it will be cheaper than paying for, here's how I see this going down is I think that our government is going to start trying to enact laws that force full coverage of, like, diabetic testing supplies, diabetic, testing equipment,
right,
as well as all medications. And I think really quickly you'll start seeing continuous glucose monitoring being something your insurance company will now pay for.
Right.
Whatever form you want it in. You want it as a watch? We got it as a watch. Like, we'll pay for it.
And it's so stupid because they can already do it. It has to go through FDA approval, which is what keeps getting blocked. And these companies spend a good bit of money. I'll call one out. Darrow, here, I'll have to send this word to you.
What do we got over here?
This company right here, I don't know what they're paying, but every ad on my damn TikTok is that.
Oh, Dario blood glucose meter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're keyword targeted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever see this stuff.
I
might today after I've searched diabetes. And I may see it for a while after that, but I'm not going to see it within like 3 months. It'll completely disappear for me. Because they'll basically the algorithm will catch on to the fact that I researched something. I did not need something. So yeah.
And Shannon, I've debated on if I even need a work permit because we have the ability to be anywhere because we both own our companies.
I'd probably come closer to needing a work permit.
Yeah.
Like, you can move and not need one because you wouldn't necessarily have to, well, though granted, if I change my career slightly.
Right.
If I quit doing like direct physical touch repairs.
Right.
Then yeah, technically we'd both be in the same boat.
We can both EPAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I feel a lot of people with health problems will start doing is X-packing if they continue. Because, example, they had a bill in the Congress and in the Senate, and it died in the Senate, that made all insulin prices were flat, $35 a bottle. That's the most you can sell it for.
Yeah, Shannon's pointing out we might need it because of the area has tax laws that may cover.
Right.
Still,
there's a lot. We've looked at not Puerto Rico. Where is it? Costa Rica. As long as we've got $10,000 in the bank, we can get citizenship that day.
Fun.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk January 6th committee.
All righty. We finally made it. An hour and 11 minutes in.
Well, this is big news for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it is game-changing.
Well, it's not only game-changing, but it's prepping yourself to be able to deal with the doctor who says, oh, you've got diabetes, you need to do X, you need to do Y, you've got to do Z. And it's like, I'm already doing X, Y, and Z, and my sugar's still at this level.
And that's if you have the nice doctor. Most people with diabetes end up getting the doctor that may not say it to your face, but effectively says to you, well, you stupid fat fuck.
Right.
You did this to yourself because you don't know how to, human.
Right.
And so I'm going to give you arbitrary advice that I know because I know nothing about this outside of a medical text.
Right.
That is not going to benefit you in the least. And then for every continuous visit thereafter, I'm going to browbeat you for your stupidity.
Right.
But it's actually ignorance on the medical professional's part. And that's just, it's a brain exploder for me.
Exactly. You got Rocky Spire Theater. Oh, you need to lose weight.
Yeah.
And then real numbers. Like, I'd ask the doc, what's my target weight? Because I can't find a target weight that feels right for me. And he said, do you want me to tell what the book says or what I think you should be at? Or I said, give it all to me.
Yeah. Give me the numbers.
He said, well, the book says you should be 180 pounds. I've seen 180 pounds. I'll have people at my door with food at 180 pounds. There'll be rumors that Aeson is dying for 180 pounds. I have too much muscle for 180 pounds. So, but let's move on. January 6th committee. They will be giving their final report on December 21st. However, the Justice Department will be getting it on December 19th.
All right. So, yay. Representative Benny Thompson, the chairman of the House Select Committee investigating January 6, 2021 insurrection, told reporters the committee will hold its final public meeting on Monday and the panel's full report will come out on December 21st. Thompson, a Democrat from Mississippi, said the committee will approve the panel's final report on December 19th and make announcements about criminal referrals to the Justice Department, but the public will not see that final report until 2 days later. Quote, we will do all of the business of the committee on the 19th, Thompson said, which includes voting on the final report. Members of the committee have promised to have the committee's report released before the end of the year, as Republicans are expected to dissolve the committee when they take over the chamber in the next Congress. Thompson told CNN that the panel is looking at 5 to 6 categories of referrals beyond those deemed criminal, but has not decided on the specific number of individuals. Thompson said that in addition to criminal referrals to the Department of Justice, there could be other categories of referrals to the committee makes, such as ethics referrals to the House Ethics Committee, bar discipline referrals, and campaign finance referrals. Thompson said that when members met on Sunday, they did not talk about the number of criminal referrals. They talked about the different categories of referrals they wanted to pursue. Thompson told reporters on Tuesday that Monday's public meeting will include a presentation and cover the names of people facing criminal and other referrals, as well as the basis for those referrals. House. A subcommittee of members has made recommendations to the full committee about various referrals. During the public meeting, the full committee is expected to vote on adopting the subcommittee's recommendations.
About the committee's plans to hold a meeting on Monday, Thomas said, we are looking at the schedule and it appears that we can complete our work a bit before that. Thomas said of shifting public meeting to next week, why not get it to the public? Because you know, point blank, at the end of the day, as soon as the Republicans take office, this committee will disappear and their work will magically disappear out of Congress's records unless we can get it out of there.
Yep.
Like the shredder will be busy.
More than likely, yes. Because, they worked very hard to make sure that none of this ended in charges.
Right. And I think all of it needs to end in charges and ethics violations and committee violations and whatever else, because it has already been proven that members of every branch of government has, at all means, been involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm ready for them to charge people so we can all move on.
Right.
Like, literally. Just charge people and be done with this.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying don't be thorough. I'm just saying, like, get there.
Right.
Just get there.
Yeah, and we're looking at the new Speaker of the House. There's a debate on whether he'll get the 218 votes. McCarthy alleges allies and foes alike are starting to quietly game out of the next step. If he cannot get the necessary 218 votes on the first round, they will move into an uncharted territory.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's hoping.
Here's hoping. I don't really think that he is. I really don't think that he'll be that productive. We have seen what has happened with the turtle out of Kentucky. We will see what happens with this door maker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
This has been a nightmare. The resulting committees have been a nightmare. Let's be done.
Right.
That's I think that's where we're all at. I don't care what side of the issue you're on. I think we're just all at let's be done with this. Like, go with it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the charges will stick.
Right.
Because otherwise this will be the worst by far, I think, instance of unaccountability.
Right.
And ironically, out of a party who constantly screams about personal accountability.
Right.
Like, that's what their obstructionism is, like, it's the racism of accountability. It's the class warfare of accountability.
Right. It's going to be a debate on which Speaker of the House, because he has to get 218 votes in the House. And the Republicans already said, if we can't get him voted in, we will go across the aisle and work with others. His detractors, who do not want him as Speaker of the House, have said, we will stop voting for Republican stuff and go across the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So it'll be interesting to see. Of course, the vote is January 3rd. We will have the new name of the Speaker of the House, foregoing Madam Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who is retiring as Speaker of the House and says that she probably will not do it again, even though she's staying for her term.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
We shall.
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Righty. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out if Joe's the asshole again.
All right.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvann.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. Let's just figure it out. Bye.
Hi, Techie Joe here. I work with Aeson Knight and some of the best psychics in West Virginia to create amazing live streams and podcasts for the Psychic Coffee Shop Network. Together, we brew up great content discussing news, events, hot topics, and more, all from a psychic perspective. On the Psychic Coffee Shop, we interview amazing authors in the metaphysical realm. Coffee and Tea combines Aeson with Tracy, Dottie, Natalie, or Lady Gwendolyn for the good and the bad of being a psychic. Shameless Self-Promotion with Dottie the Psychic talks to leading and emerging YouTubers and business owners in our community. Mountain Bears brings you the latest in LGBT news and politics. The Psychic That Plans answers the question of, well, how a psychic plans. Plus, we're live on air. We take your comments and your questions, including psychic advice questions. Check out our amazing programming, book an appointment with top psychics, and find out all the wonderful things we have to offer at PCSBnetwork.com today.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your most spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, if you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aesonknight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that call now button there on my site. Great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy.
All right.
Alrighty. Alright, let's find out if you're the asshole this week.
Okay, am I the asshole for spending my children's inheritance, leaving almost nothing to them and my grandchildren? Hello, good afternoon. What you are about to read is a recent cause of emotional distress for me, regret, and I'm doing this post with the help of my colleague and his son, whom insists I'm doing the right thing. I'm 63 years old. I took advantage of better times, financially speaking, and managed to get enough money saved to have a good retirement and leave a good inheritance for my children. However, their actions in recent years have broken my heart. My oldest daughter is a lawyer married to an attorney. I have another son who is also a lawyer, a third who became an engineer, and the youngest who is a salesman. I've been a smoker for many years, and the predictable outcome has finally caught me, so I may not have many years left. After knowing this, my children began stabbing each other's backs, trying to get their inheritance earlier. Initially, were frequent verbal discussions that escalated to legal battles. The boiling point came when my daughter forged her brother's signature to take their part of the inheritance while I was being treated at the hospital. Now, none of the siblings can see each other in the eye and only talk through lawyers. Saddened by the situation, decided to spend the money, thinking that if all of it is gone, they would have no more reasons to fight. I donated to charities, bought my wife beautiful items, went on vacations with her paying for the better looking hotel rooms, no planes because of COVID travel restrictions, gave my grandkids expensive gifts, bought my dearest friends and colleagues better equipment to improve their work. We bought a huge TV, prepaid for my funeral, tasted some fine whiskey, among other things. Right now, about 65 to 70% of my savings are now gone. I plan to keep enough for the time I have left and leave my wife a good amount of cash. However, my children are noticing that I'm spending a lot and started to ask questions. My daughter figured out what happened on her own. I had no rebuttals since I'm guilty of all the accusations she made, but then she mentioned that her children will suffer because of my selfish acts. Not only that, but I am cursing all of her grandchildren by doing this. That made me think that my grandchildren shouldn't be punished for their parents' sins, and maybe I was too self-absorbed to realize it sooner. That's my dilemma now. And OP has offered the following explanation as for why they might be the asshole. I'm spending my savings, those that will become my children's inheritance, as a way to stop the fight amongst siblings. But my oldest talked some reason into me, saying that by punishing them might also punish my grandkids. Now I'm conflicted because my selfishness might end up being against my grandkids' interest and well-being.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Brenda. You're just in time to figure out if Joe's the asshole.
So, yeah, am I the asshole for spending my inheritance? No. Or spending the inheritance that would be left to children and grandkids. Or by process through. No. See, this is like, I will say this is one of the biggest problems that like families, and I do mean a majority, tend to really struggle bus with. Is there's this belief that you are somehow required to leave an inheritance to your children, grandchildren, etc. You're not. I mean, it's nice if you do, but no one should ever live their life expecting it.
Right.
And even in the 11th hour,
right,
it's really, really possible that goes for medical expenses. That goes for major home improvements and changes to support you. And it may just go flat out the door for nursing care.
Right. And, you know, a couple people asked about the wife's finances. And the OP's friend's son offered, my wife and I have had joint finances. However, she has always had her own cash savings for emergencies. When our youngest son became old enough to take care of himself, she found a job opportunity for her and now has her own savings. I was planning on slowing down my spending to leave something for her. However, I'm confident she will have a good life even after I'm gone.
Okay.
So wife is took care of.
So wife's fine. Husband's technically fine. He's doing with his money what he wants to do with his money. Like, and there's not even like the spousal concern.
Right.
I don't necessarily like. Here's my thing. I definitely not the asshole. I think the logic was flawed.
Okay.
Like I think that somehow, poor OP, you have raised some greedy, grubbing bastards.
Right.
And I'm sorry for that. That just sucks.
Yeah.
And if there's 2 cents in your account, those 4 kids are going to argue about which who gets all 2 cents.
Exactly. I don't know. I have a
it's not the
weird
money.
view. I have a weird
Mhm.
view. Personally, I'd spend every penny.
Mhm.
Every damn penny. Sell every asset that your wife doesn't want. Give her instructions that when she reaches a certain age, to sell it all and go on the biggest cruise.
Mhm.
Leave
Well,
them dirt.
Yeah, basically. And moreover,
Mm-hmm.
I would go find a really good estate planning attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have lawyers for children, and they're
Yes.
going to be litigious little bastards.
Yes.
So don't use any of them, but find the
Right.
best damn one you can find
Right.
to create an ironclad will, cut all of them out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to leave something for your grandkids in a very, very well structured
Uh-huh.
financial arrangement that their parents can't touch.
Right. I would put it to where they can't touch till they're 30.
Yeah.
My favorite's the Triple E savings bond.
Oh, I was going to go a little more like, because again, you got to deal with the fact that like these are litigious little children.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I would go pay a lawyer handsomely to create some very ironclad trusts and
Yes.
and a very ironclad will.
Right. With nuclear
that,
options.
Yeah, nuclear options. You lose, you lose. You lose it all.
You challenge, you lose it all.
Mm-hmm. Leave $1 a piece and lovely, for reasons well known to them.
Yeah. Is where
And
I would be at. I would also make sure that you have documents in place for yourself and your wife that are locked in key so that they can't keep you on pumps and machines for 20 years while they live off your estate that is being managed by one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I would make sure you get all those kids off your accounts, access to your accounts, or any other way they could have access to your accounts.
Right.
And again, go find a really good estate planning attorney, tell them the situation and what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Which, unfortunately, what you really want is for your kids to quit fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get that. I'm sorry. I like.
They're greedy little
bastards.
bastards.
Not going to get that. Yeah, you got greedy little bastards. I'm so sorry for your luck on that.
Mm-hmm.
But go find a damn good attorney. If and it's reasonable for you as a grandparent to want to do something for your grandkids.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be big. They're probably little kids at this point. Granted, they're
well,
probably more mature than their parents, but that's a whole different part.
Yeah, I would say they're probably in their teens.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's 63. Let's go with average. Most people had children by 30. His children have already graduated college and law school. So that puts them at least 30.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're in their, they're up there.
Early years
to
teens.
Yep.
So again, you don't have to leave them large sums. You wait till 30, give them a nice down payment for a house if it's a well-structured investment, because I'm assuming you probably have at least 10 to 15,000 to seed with.
Yep.
Unless you have a shit ton of grandkids.
Now, let me see if this comment come through. Yes.
But if you're talking about like 6 to 8 grandkids, which is reasonable out of what, 5 kids? Did I count that right? 5 kids or 4 kids? 5 kids.
2 lawyers, 1 salesman, 1 engineer, 4 kids.
Yeah, 4 kids. So, he's taking care of final expenses, so he's leaving the wife in good shape. He needs to spend, and him and his wife live it up. Yeah.
And anyway,
plus your kids have good jobs.
Yeah.
Like your kids, for the vast majority, have good jobs. Even the salesman, unless it's like door-to-door vacuum.
Right.
Like depending upon what kind of, like if you're talking about like salesman pharmaceutical rep, like shit, he may earn the lawyers.
Right.
But no, it sounds like they all have at least decent jobs. Like, If they want to wait, and more importantly, they've already wasted money fighting this in court.
Yeah.
You're not even dead yet. They're wasting money fighting this in court.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
It's totally
Right,
ridiculous.
Oh, alrighty.
Alrighty. And this one that I can't bring up on highlight because we have to get the whitelist set up.
Yeah.
OP worked for his money. He owes nothing to them. I told mine to spend it while they were alive. Not an asshole. I hope he and his wife enjoy the time he has left. Agreed.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so let's move over to relationship advice because this one's interesting.
All right. So I don't trust my wife and her job. I'm having a difficult time since I realized that my wife has been cheating on me in her new job. She joined this company a couple of months ago. She is required to travel a lot, and she has to stay late nights for the networking parties. She mentioned at the beginning that a lot of people have been cheating to their partners in those trips. I didn't feel threatened because I trusted her. She kept coming home with more cheating stories, and also that she met some colleagues that are in polyamorous relationships. One day she mentioned to me that a kiss with another man shouldn't be a problem. I was a bit shocked. A couple of weeks later, her attitude started to change. She didn't look at me. She was annoyed by my normal comments, even by my smell. We argued a lot, and we started to sleep in separate rooms. Then there was one night in one of her trips that she disappeared. She didn't answer my phone calls for almost a day. I was so pissed that I decided to start talking about divorce. 1 month later, she confessed to me that she met two guys in separate work trips. I was so upset. She wanted to come back with me as we were before, but I didn't want to. Since then, she has been trying to convince me to work on our relationship and be happy as before. I love her, but I don't trust her anymore. The worst thing is that all my anger is going towards her job. She keeps going out to parties in those trips as if nothing happened. All the bad memories come back to my mind. I want to get back with her, but don't want her to continue working in that job. She says that I'm selfish because it's her career. I don't know what to do. Any suggestions? I have one.
Marriage counseling, A1.
Oh, I'm not even there.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm in divorce.
Okay.
Like, this is not no, this has gone beyond that.
Right.
And I can't say I'm necessarily totally disagreeing with her on the concept of, like, he is being selfish.
Right.
In the ultimatum he gave, which it's an ultimatum, was quit your job or we divorce.
Right.
That's really hard to ask
Right.
out of anyone. Quit your job or we're getting a divorce. Problem one. Problem two is, I don't know that it was, I think this is a chicken and egg here as to whether or not she was already of a cheating mindset before she took the job and she took advantage of it, or if she got into the job and discovered some things about herself.
Right.
Around people that kind of said things that she thought were probably very shocking at first, and then in normalization, she was suddenly like, well,
right.
I think they grew apart.
Right.
I think they were probably very happy before and everything was great, and that's probably all true, but I think this is a genie you are not getting back into the bottle. Like, I don't think there's enough marriage counseling for this one.
Well, marriage counseling is the point, and here is why. Cheating happens way before. The problem with cheating happens way before the actual cheating happens. Okay? And this is what people don't understand. It's not I had a few drinks too much, or he wasn't listening to me, or this, that, or another.
Okay.
Like, the relationship began having cracks and problems way before it even got to her cheating. Probably even before she got the job 7 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, invariably, I think all relationships, like, because basically what you're espousing is the cheating is the boil over point.
Right.
Like, you already had a boiling pot going out of control.
Right.
The fact that she's cheated is just like,
That's
what else
the
did you
sign
expect?
and the symptom.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like, yeah. We were way back to the beginning.
Yeah, go back to the beginning. If you want, and this is a choice decision, if you want to save a marriage that has been cheated on, which means trust has been broken, which means the relationship has been broken, you have to back that train up, like the Dalai Lama, all the way back to the station, and go, okay, what happened? Did you start feeling insignificant? Were your needs not being met? Did you stop feeling that you were valued? Did you stop, there's like 15 questions in my head when someone says they've cheated. Why? Is it physical needs not being met? Is it you don't feel important? Is it that you don't feel equal? Is it that you don't feel heard? Is it you don't have your emotions? Is it that you just don't understand this or that? Because a cheating relationship fills in something that's a problem. How's our finances? Are they stressed? Guarantee you. Is she having problems in this new job? Is she having problems having to go back to work? Because I'm sure she didn't go back to work to be fun. Where's the common problem within the relationship?
Well, it doesn't sound like she quite went back to work as much as she already had a career and changed jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Why did we change jobs? It wasn't probably for, I was just bored.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where I go back to, like, it's a chicken and egg on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think she found her people.
Right.
One way, like, any which way you slice it, I think she found her people.
Right.
I just don't know what changed. Well, because then again, and sometimes I do think there are instances where that is all it takes.
Right.
Is that, if she has been pigeonholed in a situation where, sheltered, basically, into a situation where she was surrounded by a lot of not her people.
Right.
And, she's just kind of a go along to get along personality. Or learn to be a go along to get along personality and, follow the rules, do the things, don't be a bad wife, don't be a cheating whore, which,
right.
I mean, society's going to tell you that a lot anyway.
Right.
I think there is a fair number, like, I would love to know the ages. Like, that's probably my biggest one in this one is what are the ages? Right. Because something's like, I feel like this is gonna, like, I can almost guarantee that she's like 40.
Right.
And there's a real reason I think that number is important is somewhere between 40 and 50. A lot of people have this moment.
Right.
Where, like, they did all the things they were taught to do, that they were told to do, and then all of a sudden, it's not even a marriage problem, it's a life problem.
Right.
That, like, you followed all the rules, you did all the things, and you're busting your ass, and just one day it finally strikes like a lightning bolt. I'm just not happy.
Right.
And you see a lot of marriages blow up at that 40-year mark.
Right.
And not the 40 years of marriage, but the 40 years of age mark.
Right.
Because people will go through a rapid change somewhere north of 40.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Shannon points out they feel like they've wasted their best years and they don't want to waste any more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fair number of people that hit that one. Like, I've known people who hit that one, and
Right.
it's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, not only that, but I snoop on the OP here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he doesn't commonly post here. You know where he's posting at?
Oh no. Where?
Crypto, currency, and having sexual performance anxiety.
Oh. Oh, so he's investing in highly volatile markets.
Right.
Too nervous to get it up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Yeah, that's probably not a good 1-2 combo in their
I
marriage.
think we found the two main problems. He's wanting to shift blame over to the wife, who, if she's traveling a lot and having to do a lot of things.
Oh, no, wait a minute. This may not be
Mm-hmm.
the pre-problem. This may be the after all this came out and then she wanted to be poly, because then there's the bunch of comments on what would be a good first date for a girl interested in fetish parties. I'm going to assume a month ago he was still trying to date his wife.
Right.
And
Again,
that would make
let's
the
get
most
back
sense.
to the surface problem.
Okay.
Surface problem. You have a woman who's trying to keep a household.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a higher paying job. Yep, she's going to have to travel. Yep, it's going to suck. Her husband is over dickering around with something so volatile that even me in 2021 said, don't fuck with it. The government is attempting to oversight it, and it will come next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that within days of the investment and all this, the stress level goes to 20 on a small scale. Our stress level as a couple all my couple stress level goes up if I start making little bets on networks, little bets on this, little bets on that. Like, oh, let's diversion time over to this. Let's do this in the company. It goes up. If someone's playing with his life savings, that's a standard 40-hour week. Well, no, he's a data engineer, so he's contractable. Yeah, we see him posting there too. So he's already in a high stakes job, and he's taking higher stakes by playing with our retirement and losing big. By the way, if you haven't noticed, crypto has been dropping like a prom date all year long.
Yeah. Of course, that tells me, as sort of where you're thinking, there were also problems in this relationship, because I find it interesting, like, and maybe you've noticed this, or maybe it's just my weird thing, but I always worry about relationships where there's a gambling problem.
Right.
Like, I would almost, and this is not medical advice by any stretch of the imagination, but I would really almost rather hear someone's an alcoholic than they have a gambling problem.
Right.
And the reason I say that is, like, alcoholism is usually based around their own internal struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Gambling is usually like it's and it can just be playing the lottery, but it is literally playing the lottery looking for a thrill.
Mm-hmm.
Because something has gone horribly wrong in your current life.
Right.
Like, most people that have a gambling problem, I've never seen it be because of past trauma. Like, way past trauma.
Right.
It always seems to be hit with, like, the immediate life circumstance.
Right.
And, like, yeah, that makes me worry. Because effectively that's what he's doing, is gambling. It's just, prettied up and called investing. At the way he's doing it.
Yeah, because literally most of his posting here is about crypto and FX failing and waiting for another one to fail and government oversight. And, his signature, not in this post, but elsewhere, because, you can have a signature that you can add to it, is crypto trader.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Brenda, see, here's the thing though. Like she points out that, and now in West Virginia, you can't drive 1 to 2 miles without seeing a hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
True. I also refer to those, and she's talking about the video gambling parlors.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've termed those grandparent daycares. Because the other thing I've noticed is that a fair number of them, it's
Mm-hmm.
what they are.
Right.
You will see people, you will see little old people. Every one of those has at least one little old person
Mm-hmm.
that gets there when the doors opens, leaves sometime slightly before the doors close,
Mm-hmm.
and may eat 3 meals a day there.
Right.
And it's literally a daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, coffee houses.
Yeah.
Which
he about freaked out when I said I enjoy going in coffee houses. He didn't know what I was talking about.
What?
When we were first talking and I said I enjoy coffee houses, you about had a heart attack.
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
Yeah, because that's when we got into the long conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. About adult daycares.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but no, I don't immediately associate the word coffee houses.
Right.
I forget. There is another one, though. Oh, what's the other term they use for them? Mm-hmm. I forget. Anyway.
Right.
But yeah.
So he's basically what it looks to be is even up to freelancing over on Upwork, database engineer, who is playing corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing in crypto. She feels insecure, so she goes and cheats. Was it because of her job? No. It was because of the original problem. She doesn't feel secure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. So Shannon points out when I worked at one, we'd see people empty their savings account and then freak out because they couldn't win it back before their significant others found out. Mm-hmm. So Brenda points out had a relative that could daily spend hours a day playing machines but couldn't go see her son in the hospital. Mm-hmm. See, that's where I think the line is between addiction and the adult daycare model. Mm-hmm. Because now with the adult daycare ones, it's a very structured event. They're planning at most with $100.
Right.
And then Shannon says we'd have husbands come in and say, you can't let her play here. Mm-hmm. That is not my job, dude. You don't want her having access to it, then you don't give her free access.
Exactly.
So yeah.
No. Yeah. But no, and we know the stress. We've seen this stress. We're living this stress sometimes when I'm launching new products, launching new things, playing in the penny stocks, playing, with this technique or that technique, mm-hmm. And it gets a little stressful around here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can I just point out, because I think you'll all enjoy this, that I totally didn't pay attention to the video gambling business pop up.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of understanding that these, because they're all kind of vaguely named.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought the world got real the U.S. got real flipping comfortable with putting strip clubs on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously, because they look like strip clubs.
Right.
Every time the business concept, shitty strip clubs, but still, they look like strip clubs or bars. Right. And I just thought we got real comfortable as a society with strip clubs. Right. And then they have suggestive names Lulu's Hotspot.
Right.
And it's well, what am I supposed to take from that? You name most of them after women.
Mm-hmm. I like this comment.
Yep. Sounds like OP's wife found some freedom in this job and was exploring and getting to know who she is and what she wants. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Very much so.
What? Strip clubs let you have flashing lights. Gambling parlors in West Virginia are not allowed. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird laws.
Technically, I've never been to a strip club. Now, I've been to a club.
The things that put on my to-do list now.
I know. Well, no, I take that back. I've been to one strip club. That was actually by accident. That's
No, I mean things to put on my to-do list now to take you to.
Well, yeah, I know, but like, oh, believe me, it's got to be better than the strip club I accidentally went to.
Mm-hmm.
God help my ex.
Yes. Well, someone needs to help him because God knows nobody else can.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, okay, fine. Real quickly, we'll run through this setup. We were looking for lunch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those businesses that had a really weird name.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't like scream, this is a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
I started to have my concerns with the blacked out glass.
Right.
But adamant about the fact that this restaurant popped up in a Google search as a restaurant because they have a liquor license and they have that by way of food sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we end up going in. I knew it, but it was too late, like, because there was a cover charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is not that kind of bar. And so this was all going well right up to the point, and it was so sad. It was a combination strip club, restaurant, bar, and it was like there's a stripper stage over here, there's a dance floor here, and then over here you have the bar restaurant. All of this is in the square footage of less than a single wide trailer.
Right.
Like just whoop. Yeah. It was bad. Yes, help my ex head first down the stairs. Probably would do brain improvement. Yes.
Yep.
Like walked right into that one. And then, so yeah, basically we'll walk in trying to get lunch. There's a naked woman over here. There's a bunch of old dudes sitting around playing pocket pool. And there's like one little poor bartender sitting over at the side and a door bouncer who has suddenly realized we have stumbled in to not what we expected.
Yep.
We got our cover back.
Yes. So anyhow,
I would have left it just to get out.
Yes. So, things to add to Aeson's bucket list of things to take Joe to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A good a good strip club.
True. Now, coming up on Saturday, we will be at the famous Vice Versa in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
For the Yule Ball and Yule Market. I will be doing readings all day. The doors open at 3. The readings go until about 7. And then the Yule Ball kicks off at 9. And it will be a fun night. Yes, Aeson will be there during the ball. So it'll be fun. I hope you guys come out and see. Of course, 4 readings are $20. 3 cards are $10 and $5 for 1.
Very awesome. Oh, meanwhile, Shannon says, combination strip club, anything food related. Those workers better not be wearing booty shorts near my food. If the strip club has an all-you-can-eat buffet, because that was what actually got my egg. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was something about buffet. Like, if it had said gentleman's buffet, I would have gotten it.
Right.
And been really clear on it in the beginning. But the way they worded it, it was so oddball. And he just kept going, but they're a buffet. They have a buffet. I really want to go to a buffet. Not that buffet, you do not. But yes. And yeah, I'm with you, Brenda. I'm laughing at Shannon's comment. That is awesome. All right.
All right. So it's been a good night. Tomorrow night, Lady Gwendolyn will be on with Lessons of the Rowan Trick. Of course, we'll be back with Coffee and Tea on Thursday at 8 p.m. Friday for Mountain Bears, and then you can come see me at the Yule Ball on Saturday. Yeah, this will probably be one of the. It'll be a live event, which we haven't done for a while, but it'll be fun. We're not setting limits for next year. We will see.
We will see.
Yeah, that's the way we're handling this. All right, Vanna. Let's go and see if you were the asshole. 100%. You are not the asshole.
Woo!
You get to live another day.
Yay.
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 All right. So with that, guys, we'll go ahead and let Techie Joe take it over and thank our patrons.
All right. So we want to thank Beverly Walker, Minka G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryan, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Dottie the Psychic, Tracy Van, and Caitlin Bell. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our Patreon sponsors and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yeah, so you guys have an amazing night. Take care of yourselves. Have a salad. Look into options. Make sure you're taking care of your health. And we'll see you later. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can't whisper behind my back. You can't show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now.